All right, all right. So moving right along, this training video is about why I think multifamily real estate is better than other investments. So I know a lot of people are going to want to debate me on this, but trust me, when I walk through this, my goal isn't to argue with people. I'm just telling you what I believe as it relates to my money, my investors' money, and where I've seen the most success in my real estate career over the last 2 decades, almost two and a half. So first, when I weighed the real estate investments up against other opportunity and other investments. So let's look at it like this. What are your choices? You got stock. So if you invest in stock, great. The difference between like stock investing is that the stock market is done on the average somewhere around 6 to 7% over the last maybe 25 plus years. And if you think about the stock market right now, you look at the S&P 500, the S&P 500 is pretty much being held up about 7 stocks called the Magnificent Seven. Look them up. It's Apple, Google, Tesla, I think Nvidia, and Meta, which is Facebook, basically, and maybe one or two other ones. But on the average, it's just the stock. And what is the challenge with stock? It's in the stock market. So you can't really dictate putting your money in one day and knowing for the fact that your money is going to be safe there later, because there's these ups and downs, these dips in the market. It has nothing to do with you. It could be a bad article. It could be a misrepresentation, because we know all the fake news that's out there. It could say, and it could be manipulated. Let's say I'm a big corporate, I'm a big institution, I own a media company, and I invest money into media advertising that sends out a shockwave about a stock or a share or a competitor before anybody even looks it up. There's going to be a dip in the market in that specific share of stock. And if you're involved in that stock, you're losing value in your money right off the bat. So when I think about why multifamily is better, there's not these ebb and flows inside of multifamily real estate as an investment. If you take your money out of the bank that was paper and you replace your paper and you put it into a real asset like a multifamily property. Now, I'm not talking about these beat up fixer-uppers in the middle of nowhere. I'm talking about a beautiful property in a Class A location that's full, that's maybe 100, 200, 300 units. Maybe it's 100 units, but it's beautiful. People live there. People want to live there. It's well kept. It's newer. No one's leaving this property. So at that point, your investment that you've changed, cash, trash, paper, and you've exchanged it and put it inside of something real. The value of that asset, because it's capital preservation now, your money has been turned into something else. It doesn't go up and down like the stock market. Wall Street is a casino. That's why I think personally, multifamily real estate, one, because it's real. You're not taking paper and changing it for paper that you can't control that's going into a casino. You're taking your paper and putting it into something real: bricks, mortar, glass, steel, and stone. All right. So next, we have cash. Now, the value of the dollar, let's say $100 in my lifetime, the $100 is worth 86% less than it was. I was born in 1973, and I'll back this up. In 1973, the dollar was worth, or since then, let me find it. Do I need to go through it the whole time? There it is. And if you want to check this out yourself, you can. Like I said, just use it. If you go right now if you just Google inflation calculator, if we go back to 1973, and I won't stay long on this, I just want to prove a point. And you had $100 all the way up to now. Like I said, I don't know if you guys can see that number. If I pull back a little bit, can you see it? No. All right. Anyways, $100, the total inflation, 86.2% lost its purchasing power since 1973. That is massive. That's almost 90%. The $100 has lost over almost 90% of its value in my lifetime. So if you think putting your cash into something that is real is not a better investment than the dollar, that's crazy. Because just from 2020, as a matter of fact, I want to say the dollar has lost 15% of its value because all the money that we printed. I think we printed like $9 trillion over this time. And the more money you print, the more value of your dollar goes down. And trust me, they're going to print again. They have to do that. All right. So next, your IRA. You don't even know what your IRA money is invested in. IRAs to me are a scam. Let's say, hey, you work a job or you have your money sitting in an IRA, whatever that case may be, and then they go, cool, you can contribute a certain amount of money. You can either pay the tax and contribute after tax dollars, so you're contributing less, or you can not pay the tax and you can hold off on that. And then later when you pull it out, you won't have tax. But by the time you pull it out, like we said, if the value of the dollar today in my lifetime has went down 86.2%. What do you think it's going to be? Let's say you're 50 years old, 20 years from now. All right. Well, let's say you're 30 years old and you're working a job and you're not really wanting to become an entrepreneur or anything like that, but you continue to put money away because they told you to. Now you're putting that money away. When you pull that money out, it is going to be less valuable than the time when you were actually working and needed money. So when you need that money that you're putting away in an IRA, there's no value in it. So, and not only that, you're going to be in a growth fund. You're going to be in a money fund. You're going to be in an index fund. All these different words that they kind of create to put your money into to make you feel like, oh yeah, I'm getting something great. You're funding wars, medicines you don't believe in, cigarette, tobacco companies, oil, like all of the things you probably as a human being don't want to be a part of. I don't want to support a war. Well, you're funding one, because your money is going into an IRA and that IRA is going to another bigger fund. And then that money is being managed by Wall Street and is putting your money where they want to do it. That's how this game works. So I believe real estate, though, if you take your money from an IRA, which we can help you do, and self-direct the money that's in your IRA and you say, look, I want to invest it in Bell Capital. Bell Capital invests money directly into a multifamily real estate. Now, the money that comes back from their cash flow goes back into your IRA, later double and triple or whatever that case may be when we exit those deals. But that's better because you know where your money is, right? You know exactly where your money's going. All right, which brings you to the next one, the 401k. It's the same thing. When you take a look at some of the biggest investors, institutional fund managers, money managers on this planet, they are really controlling your IRA and your 401k. And they're doing the same thing. They're sending it out globally, right? You're talking about the Vanguards. Vanguards are, I think, a $10 trillion company. Why does that matter? Is because really this was really designed, your IRA and your 401k were really designed for Wall Street fund managers. They get paid off of every time your stuff trades. So they're going to continually trade in and out, whether you lose money or whether you don't. So if you just do the math and you go, well, let's just say Vanguard, BlackRock, any one of these big Prudential, Fidelity, all of them, they get roughly about 1% on all the money that they manage. And if I'm not mistaken, we'll go 10 trillion because that's the size of these companies, how big these companies are. And I'll show you guys why they want you, why you've been sold this message about put your money in an IRA, keep it in a 401k, keep it there until you retire. That's their game. And they're going to keep making money off of you. And you don't get the opportunity to move your money. You can tell I get passionate about this stuff into something that you know where your money is. All right. So if we went, let's just go, we'll keep it simple. Let's go 10 billion. Right. So if we just did 10 billion times 1%, every time they trade, and that's just 10 billion, they're at 10 trillion. Every time they trade, they get $100 million every time they're cycling money. Every few years, they're cycling money. They just want you to trade in and out. So if you're an IRA or 401k, they get to trade your money year after year after year after year. They're getting these fees. And Vanguard is a $10 trillion company. BlackRock, I think that's also, I think they're down to like 8 or 9. They sold off. Fidelity, $1 trillion company. I think there's $6 trillion in money market funds right now, just sitting, doing nothing. All right. So that's why I'm passionate about this, because I know you as an individual should have the opportunity to take your money, roll it into multifamily real estate that continues to pay you cash flow, continue to get the benefits. You don't get all the benefits of this. And when you need it, it may not even be there for you, because we all know what happened in 2008. A lot of people lost all their retirement, and that was because of those things. So next, we'll do gold. Some people do silver. In my lifetime, I bought and sold a lot of real estate. No one person has ever said, hey, Vic, would you actually take this big hunk of gold in exchange for the real estate? It doesn't happen. Now, I know Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad Poor Dad, is like, yeah, buy gold, buy this, buy that. But it's all basically saying the same thing. One, take your cash money and put it into something real. And man, I don't know why they say gold. Money used to be backed by gold, and now they moved it away. The only thing really backing our dollar right now is 12 big or however many big battleships sitting out in the harbor. Like that's what's backing it up. It used to be gold. So gold used to be a conduit for value. So now people say, I'm going to go buy gold and they want to trade gold. But I think real estate's better. One, you got the tax. Well, I'll go into all that stuff in a little bit. But you get what I'm getting at. No one wants to trade silver or gold in exchange for some real thing. You can do it, I guess, but no one's ever come to me. So in my head, real estate, multifamily real estate is just a better investment for your money. All right. Next, crypto. Crypto. Right now, that's all the rage. Why it's all the rage? Because at some point, people couldn't even get it. You're like, hey, I want to do Bitcoin. I want to do crypto. There was, in the beginning, people couldn't get their hands on it. Then all of a sudden, it became fashionable. Everybody got their hands on it, and they were kind of the laughing stock. So yes, right now, crypto is another form of currency, Bitcoin and all that stuff. But the reason why it's taken off, I think right now it's at like 70,000 or something like that. But 70,000 or whatever a coin, or maybe climbing, is because these big institutions finally got SEC approval to be able to start grabbing and start maneuvering this around. So now people can, again, IRA, 401k, we can put our money in this thing and they're going to manage it for us because we're, they have it in your head as a marketing ploy, like, hey, you don't know how to manage your own pension fund, your own money for the future. So let us do it for you. We're going to put your money in all these different things, but you don't really know what it is. So the thing about crypto is once you yank all your money out, it's gone. There's no upside or downside. Like you cannot continue to play this game. So while I think it's probably the better one on here, if you're not going to do real estate, I don't have any crypto. I don't play that game. I like real stuff I can see, smell, and touch because real estate's perfect for that. But I wanted to put that up there because I know that's an opportunity for people. And the other one, business. Now, business. Now, I got a lot of friends that buy businesses and they invest money in businesses, right? There's just private equity or hedge funds, things like that. They invest money. I personally think multifamily real estate is better than business and or your own business. And here's why. Because if you take a look at the statistics for business, if 9 out of 10 businesses fail, you got a 1% chance. And the 1% that make it in the next 5 to 7 years, 2 out of those 5 actually fail. That's a very small percentage. And if you look at the stats, right now, only 90%, like it's 9%, not 90. How many businesses in the United States makes over $1 million a year? And the statistics on that are only 9% of the businesses in the United States makes over $1 million a year. Only 9%. That's crazy. So if only 9% of the businesses make over $1 million a year, why would you continue to invest money into businesses not knowing exactly what's going to happen, even if it's your own business? So let's say you have a business and you go, look, I have an extra 100 grand. I'm going to dump it into my business. That's next year. You're not sure you're going to be able to actually make 100 grand. Can you? Absolutely. Or make a return on it. But that means you're going to be pushing on that business, pushing on your employees, doing everything. When you invest money into real estate, multifamily real estate, like the ones I'm talking about, business size multifamily real estate, 100 units, 200 units, 300 units, passive or active, that real estate has to generate revenue. It's like buying a business in itself with employees, with staff, leasing people, maintenance people, yard people, contract services, a gym, a pool, all that stuff. So it's very different when you're looking at investing versus investing into your own business or a business as an actual investment. This is why I think multifamily real estate's better. It's like buying an actual operating business. And if you look at let's say you look at a brand new property, even a brand new multifamily property, let's say it's 3 years old. That means you have 3 years worth of functional revenue, or you can't buy it. It's all valued based off its revenue. And guaranteed, if you're looking at 100, 200 unit property, the revenue for that property typically is going to be somewhere around, especially 200 units or whatever here in California, or hell, anywhere now, all around the United States. Your gross revenue coming in the door of that building, 2, 3 years old, is already going to be pushed past 4, 5, 7, even $10 million. So if you take a look at just that alone, if you look at a 3, 4, 5, 10-year apartment building, you have 10 years running gross revenue on an apartment building, just the gross revenue, right, of over sometimes $5 to $10 million. And only 9% of the businesses in the United States today make that. Google it. I'll be up and I'll show you. So that's why I personally, sorry, I get pumped up about this stuff. Hopefully you guys are too, because I want to convince you guys that multifamily real estate is better than the other assets out there, right? Better other investments to be able to do out there. And this is so valuable because I want you to walk away and think, if I knew 100% that I was going to be investing in a multifamily property and I was going to create wealth for myself, my family, cash flow, appreciation, tax benefits, it's going to be something I'm going to leave to them forever. If you were 100% convinced, you wouldn't even consider these things an opportunity to put your money into or to invest into or to raise capital like I do and build my company around believing in multifamily real estate so much that I'm willing to invest my money, my investors' money, my mom, my dad, my sister, my friends, my business associates, my employees' money. All that stuff is going to go into what I truly believe is the best investment. And hopefully, after watching this with me, you do too. So stay tuned for the next video where I'm going to go over a couple more things about why I think this is the best asset. Multifamily real estate is the best asset class and the reasons why I think that's so. All right. Check out the next video.